guys, I think I kind of screwed up with my camera work before and I didn't exactly show you the removal procedure on the can. Um, we were at the point where we were removing the cruise control servo. You disconnect the connector here on the servo itself, and you disconnect the red connector on the uh, vacuum solenoid, and then you can just pull the entire assembly right out of the car with with the two vacuum lines intact. And you just have to make note that there is a large and a small line, so you have to reinstall them correctly. You really can't screw that up. At this point, you can take a look at the old lines and see if they're still in good shape, and these are still in excellent shape. A little bit of paint from whoever tried to seal that can back up. This is the one line you have to worry about. But that's all it takes to remove the servo assembly from the car. Okay, now let's take a look at the cans. One thing you're going to have to make sure you do before you throw the can out, you're going to have to remove this clip, which is the one that makes you remove the entire servo assembly. If you're lucky on your car, it may not be attached to the bracket, almost as if it was welded together. And if it's not, then you probably wouldn't even have to remove the servo assembly. You could just slide it back and out. But unfortunately, mine was seized to that canister, so I couldn't rip it off until I got the can out of the car. So let's take a look at the can. And here you can see why I'm not holding any vacuum in my cruise control system. There are multiple pinholes that have rotted through the can. This can has been repaired once before. It looks like they tried to epoxy it shut, and it just popped out somewhere else. So this can is basically garbage at this point. Now let's take a good look at the Fiero Store can. You can see that it's just about a perfect duplicate of the original GM can. Now I don't know if this is new old stock that they have, but I don't think this is an original GM can, and if they had it reproduced, then they did an excellent job of it, as the only difference is in the actual positioning of the nipples for the vacuum lines. As everything else seems to be an almost exact copy of the original GM can. So who knows, this may actually be an original GM part. I don't see any markings on it. But if it's not, then good work, Fiero Store, on making a really good duplicate. All right, let's go get ready for reinstallation now. Okay, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put this clip back in this bracket so that you can actually install the can. There we go. We're back on, and now it's a simple matter of just sliding the can in and bolting it in place. Now, one of the hoses are attached to the vacuum lines that run the circumference of the engine compartment. Now, let's just take a good look at this. So we can see this hose still looks like it's in pretty good shape from what I can see. But let's match it up to the Fiero Store replacement. Let's see how close they got it. Okay, now we're looking at the original hose here. If you look at the Fiero Store replacement hose, it appears to be quite a bit shorter than the original GM hose. Now, since I don't want this hose to kink, which I'm not sure if it will or it won't, it may fit perfectly fine with the new can, but since the hoses on here appear to still be in excellent shape, a little bit of dry rotting there. I think I'm going to chance it, as this will be an easy enough hose to replace if it does leak. But I think we're going to chance it and leave that hose on. Since it's my car, I can take that chance. Wouldn't normally do this on a customer's car, but on my own car, hey, if it breaks, I got to fix it anyway. So we're just going to go for it. Let's see what happens. Okay, now on the cruise control servo, we see the second hose. Now this one appears to be just about perfect as far as the length goes. So we're going to be putting this one on, and it appears to have all the correct bends, and the length appears to be correct. Whereas the other hose appears to be just a little short, and the bends are not exactly right. Now, judging by the... Let's take a look at the cans for a second. Looking at the position of the smaller nipple, it's actually placed... It's actually facing downward on the can, where here it's at the side, which means that the hose will actually have to reach further to get to that nipple. Now this hose being shorter, it may kink, I'm not sure. But like I said, since it's my car, we're going to leave the original hose in and see what happens. Worst comes to worst, we have to change one vacuum line. So let's get started with the install. All right, that'll be in the next part of the video. See you there.